Modern trucks come loaded with heated seats, 360-degree cameras, and software that needs updates more often than you change your oil. Impressive. Sure, built to last 300,000 miles without breaking a sweat. Not exactly. But here's the thing. Some trucks were engineered back when planned obsolescence wasn't even in the dictionary. These machines laugh at repair shops and make mechanics wonder if they'll ever see them again. Today, we're counting down 13 trucks that refuse to die, no matter how hard you try to kill them. Number 13. Honda Ridgeline, 2006 to 2014. Let's start with the truck that traditional truck guys love to hate until they actually drive one. The first-generation Honda Ridgeline wasn't trying to be a Silverado competitor. It was engineered to be what Honda does best. Absolutely bulletproof reliability wrapped in practical design. Built on a unibody platform with Honda's legendary 3.5-liter V6 engine producing 250 horsepower, this truck borrowed the indestructible DNA from the Pilot and Odyssey. And guess what? It worked. Owners regularly report 250,000-plus miles with nothing more than routine maintenance. The J35 V6 engine is the same power plant that's been powering Accords and Odysseys for decades without drama. The in-bed trunk, genius. The dual-action tailgate, actually useful. Original MSRP ranged from $28,000 to $35,000, and you can find clean examples today for $12,000 to $18,000. Sure, it only towed 5,000 pounds and had front-wheel drive-based AWD, but here's what matters. These trucks simply don't break. No frame rust issues, no transmission failures, no head gasket nightmares. Just Honda engineering doing what it does best, running forever while everyone else is at the dealership. And if you think a unibody truck can't be tough, talk to the owners still driving them past 300,000 miles. But this Japanese reliability is just the appetizer. Number 12. Nissan Frontier, 2005 to 2021. Here's a truck that took, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, to an almost ridiculous extreme. The second-generation Nissan Frontier stayed in production for 16 years with barely any changes. And that's actually a compliment. Why? Because Nissan absolutely nailed the formula from day one. The 4.0-liter V6 engine, VQ40DE, producing 261 horsepower, is descended from Nissan's legendary VQ engine family, known for running forever with minimal maintenance. This truck came with either rear-wheel drive or a bulletproof part-time four-wheel drive system, and both configurations just refuse to quit. Owners routinely hit 200,000 to 300,000 miles with the original engine and transmission. The 5-speed automatic is old-school simple, with none of the complexity that plagues modern 8, 9, and 10-speed transmissions. Original pricing started around $18,000 and topped out near $35,000 for loaded Pro 4X models. The interior looks dated? Sure. The fuel economy is mediocre at 15 to 19 miles per gallon? Absolutely. But here's what the Frontier doesn't do. Break down. The timing chain is robust. The transmission doesn't have weak points. Even the leaf spring rear suspension, yes, leaf springs, keeps working decade after decade. You'll find clean examples for $10,000 to $22,000 today, and they'll outlast trucks costing 3 times as much. And speaking of value that lasts forever, Number 11. Chevrolet Colorado GMC Canyon, 2004 to 2012. Before these became mid-sized darlings with diesel options and fancy tech, the first-generation Colorado and Canyon were straightforward, no-nonsense workhorses. And when equipped with the right engine, they became near indestructible. The secret? The 3.7-liter inline-5 engine, LLR, producing 242 horsepower and 242 pound-feet of torque. This quirky 5-cylinder was overbuilt, understressed, and could run longer than most marriage counseling sessions. The inline-5 design provided inherent balance and durability that 4 cylinders struggled to match, while being simpler than V6s. Pair it with the 4-speed automatic or 5-speed manual transmission, and you had a combination that owners report lasting 250,000 plus miles without major issues. The 4.3-liter V6 option was also solid, but the inline-5 has achieved near legendary status among owners. Original pricing ranged from $16,000 to $28,000. These trucks weren't fancy. The interiors were basic, the ride was truck-like, and the fuel economy hovered around 16 to 20 miles per gallon. but the bones were strong. The frame didn't rust like some competitors. The suspension was simple and repairable. You can find decent examples today for $8,000 to $15,000, and they'll keep running while newer trucks are getting towed to the shop for their third transmission replacement. But if you want a truck that treats six-figure mileage like braking in period, number 10, Ford Ranger, 1998 to 2011. The final generation of the Ford Ranger wasn't trying to compete with full-size trucks. It knew its lane and dominated it for over a decade. This compact truck was built on a body-on-frame platform that Ford basically perfected and then refused to change because it just worked. The 4.0-liter SOHC V6 engine producing 207 to 210 horsepower became legendary for its durability, even though it wasn't winning any performance awards. Yes, this engine had some quirks. The timing chain cassettes could wear, but fix that once around 100,000 miles, and you're good for another 200,000 miles without drama. The 5-speed manual and 5-speed automatic transmissions were both robust, with the manual being nearly bulletproof. Owners regularly report 300,000 plus miles on these trucks, and many are still running strong past that original prices ranged from $14,000 to $26,000, depending on configuration. The 8.8-inch rear axle was borrowed from larger Ford trucks and was massively overbuilt for the Ranger's size. The leaf spring suspension was simple and repairable. The towing capacity of 6,000 pounds with the tow package made it genuinely useful. Today, clean Rangers sell for $6,000 to $14,000, and they represent one of the best value propositions in used trucks. These things just refuse to die. And if you think that's impressive, wait until you see what Dodge cooked up. Number 9. Ram 2500, 3500 Cummins Diesel, 2003 to 2007. Let's talk about the truck that turned diesel from a commercial-only option into a cult following the third-generation Ram Heavy Duty, with the 5.9-liter Cummins inline-6 turbo diesel, is the stuff of legend. This 325 to 610 horsepower beast, depending on year and tuning, could pull a house off its foundation while sipping fuel and running forever. The 5.9-liter Cummins is known in diesel circles as one of the most reliable engines ever fitted to a pickup truck. These engines regularly surpass 500,000 miles, with many documented cases exceeding 750,000 miles on the original engine. The inline-6 configuration provides perfect balance and smooth operation. The direct injection system was simpler than modern common rail diesels, paired with either the NV4500 5-speed manual or the 48RE 4-speed automatic. These trucks could tow 13,000 plus pounds all day long. Original pricing ranged from $32,000 to $45,000. The third-gen Ram wasn't perfect. The interior was basic. The fuel economy averaged 14 to 18 miles per gallon, and the ride was rough when unloaded. But the drivetrain, absolutely unstoppable. The NV4500 manual transmission is considered one of the best heavy-duty manuals ever made. Today, clean examples command $18,000 to $35,000 because diesel enthusiasts know what they're worth. These trucks don't depreciate, they appreciate in reliability. But legendary diesel durability isn't the only path to immortality. Number 8. GMC Sierra, 1500, 1999 to 2007 classic. The GMT 800 platform Sierra represents GM at its absolute best before they got complicated with cylinder deactivation and 8-speed transmissions. This generation, especially with the 5.3-liter Vortec 5.8 producing 285 to 295 horsepower, became the truck that could do everything well and break down doing none of it. The Vortec 5300 is legendary for running to 300,000 plus miles with just oil changes and spark plugs. This engine was simple: iron block, aluminum heads, sequential fuel injection, and that's it. No variable valve timing initially, no direct injection complexity, just pushrod V8 simplicity that mechanics could fix blindfolded. The 4L60E 4-speed automatic transmission was robust when properly maintained. Fluid changes every 50,000 miles were key. The towing capacity reached 10,300 pounds, and the fuel economy averaged 14 to 18 miles per gallon. Original pricing ranged from $22,000 to $38,000. The GMT 800 platform featured a fully boxed frame in 2007, making it even stronger. The interior was comfortable but straightforward. Real buttons and knobs instead of touchscreens that stop working. The leaf spring rear suspension and control arm front suspension were proven designs that lasted today. You'll find clean examples for $8,000 to $18,000, and they'll outlast trucks 3 times their price. GM knew something about reliability back then, and they weren't the only American manufacturer getting it right. Number 7. Ford F-150, 2009 to 2014. This might surprise some people, but the 12th generation F-150 represents one of Ford's most reliable full-size trucks. Why? The 5.0-liter Coyote V8 producing 360 to 385 horsepower. This engine was essentially the Mustang GT's power plant detuned slightly, and it brought performance car durability to the truck world. Unlike the troublesome 5.4-liter 3-valve it replaced, the Coyote V8 was absolutely bulletproof. Owners regularly report 200,000 to 300,000 plus miles without major issues. The dual overhead cam design was modern but proven. The TVCT variable valve timing added efficiency without complexity nightmares. Paired with the 6-speed automatic transmission, 6R80, this combination delivered towing capacity up to 11,300 pounds and fuel economy of 15 to 21 miles per gallon. Original pricing ranged from $24,000 to $48,000 depending on trim and options. The fully boxed frame was robust. The aluminum engine block saved weight but retained strength. The interior was comfortable and well built with actual quality materials. Even the EcoBoost V6 option in these years proved reliable. Though the Coyote V8 is the star today, clean examples run $15,000 to $28,000, and they represent fantastic value. These trucks prove Ford can build reliability when they focus on proven engineering over gimmicks. But American reliability has nothing on what Toyota was building. Number 6. Toyota Tundra, 2007 to 2013. The second-generation Toyota Tundra was Toyota's full commitment to the American full-size truck market, and they brought their legendary reliability DNA with them. The 5.7-liter V8 3 URFE, producing 381 horsepower and 401 pound-feet of torque, is one of the most overbuilt engines ever put in a pickup truck. This power plant was designed to last 500,000 plus miles, and real-world results prove Toyota wasn't exaggerating. The 3 URFE engine features forged internals, dual VVTi, and an incredibly robust block design. The 6-speed automatic transmission, AB60F, was engineered specifically for this truck and shares Toyota's obsession with durability. The fully boxed frame is absolutely massive. Some say over-engineered, but that's exactly why these trucks don't develop the frame issues plaguing competitors. Towing capacity reached 10,400 pounds, and fuel economy averaged 13 to 17 miles per gallon. Original pricing was $25,000 to $44,000. These Tundras came with coil spring rear suspension for better ride quality and hydraulic engine mounts that actually lasted. The interior featured Toyota's typical quality. Nothing fancy, but everything works forever. Clean examples today run $18,000 to $32,000, and they're worth every penny. When a truck company known for million-mile taxis builds a full-size pickup, you get something special. And speaking of Toyota's greatest hits, number 5, Toyota Tacoma, 2005 to 2015. The second-generation Tacoma is probably the most reliable mid-size truck ever sold in America. With one massive caveat we'll address: when equipped with the 4.0-liter V6 1GRFE, producing 236 to 270 horsepower, this truck became virtually indestructible. The 1GRFE engine is legendary in Toyota circles, powering everything from 4Runners to FJ Cruisers without breaking a sweat. It's good for 300,000 plus miles easily. The 5-speed automatic or 6-speed manual transmissions were both excellent. The 4-wheel drive system was pure Toyota reliability, part-time 4-wheel drive with a bulletproof transfer case. Towing capacity reached 6,500 pounds, and fuel economy averaged 16 to 20 miles per gallon. Original pricing ranged from $17,000 to $32,000. Here's the elephant in the room: frame rust. 2005 to 2010 models had significant frame rust issues, leading to a massive recall and frame replacements. Post-recall or 2011 plus models solved this issue. If you find a frame-replaced Tacoma or a 2011 to 2015 model from a non-Rust Belt state, you've hit gold. The drivetrain outlasts everything. The suspension is overbuilt. The interior is basic, but lasts forever. Today, clean examples command $18,000 to $35,000, sometimes more, because people know these trucks never die. The Tacoma tax is real, but so is the reliability. But there's an even more legendary Toyota truck. Number 4. Toyota Land Cruiser 70 Series pickup variant. Okay, technically the Land Cruiser 70 Series pickup wasn't officially sold in the USA, but it deserves recognition because it's possibly the most reliable truck ever built by anyone, anywhere. Sold globally from 1984 to present, yes, still in production, this truck features the Bulletproof 4.5-liter inline-six diesel, 1 VD-FTV, producing 202 to 272 horsepower, or the equally legendary 4.0-liter V6 petrol, 1 GR-FE, we mentioned earlier. These trucks are found in the Australian outback, African safaris, Middle Eastern deserts, and South American jungles, places where breakdowns mean death. They regularly surpass 500,000 kilometers in the harshest conditions imaginable. The 5-speed manual transmission, solid front and rear axles, and leaf spring suspension are old-school, simple, and repairable anywhere. Towing capacity reaches 7,700 pounds, and fuel economy averages 18 to 24 miles per gallon with the diesel. The ladder frame is absurdly overbuilt. The interior is basic: vinyl seats, rubber floors, manual windows, but everything lasts forever. Pricing varies by market, but used examples in places like Australia run $40,000 to $80,000 because people refuse to sell them. Why? Because when a truck can survive a war zone and the UN still uses them decades later, you don't let it go. Legendary doesn't begin to cover it. Speaking of trucks that work for a living, number 3. Chevrolet Silverado 1500, 1999 to 2007 classic. The GMT 800 Silverado, virtually identical to the Sierra we mentioned earlier, deserves its own spot because Chevy owners are fiercely loyal, and for good reason. This generation, especially with the 5.3-liter Vortec 5.8, producing 285 to 295 horsepower, represents peak Chevy truck reliability. The iron block Vortec 5300 is so reliable that many owners report 400,000 plus miles on the original engine without rebuilds. The 4L60E transmission gets a bad reputation, but that's mostly from trucks that never had transmission fluid changed. Maintain it properly. Fluid changes every 50,000 miles, and it'll run forever. The fully boxed frame, 2007 classic, eliminated flex and added durability. Towing capacity reached 10,300 pounds, and fuel economy averaged 14 to 18 miles per gallon. Original pricing ranged from $21,000 to $37,000 depending on trim. The GMT 800 platform featured incredible build quality for the era. The suspension components were massively overbuilt. The interior was driver-focused with logical controls. Unlike modern Silverados with cylinder deactivation problems and 8-speed transmission issues, these trucks were refreshingly simple and reliable. Today, clean examples sell for $8,000 to $17,000, representing fantastic value. These trucks prove that sometimes the old ways are the best ways. And then there's the Blue Oval's heavy-duty masterpiece. Number 2. Ford F-250, F-350, Super Duty, 1999 to 2007. Before we get to number 1, let's talk about what many consider the most reliable diesel truck engine ever built for consumer use. The 7.3-liter PowerStroke V8 diesel, producing 210 to 275 horsepower and 505 to 525 pound-feet of torque. The first-generation Super Duty with this engine is legendary. While newer diesels make more power and get better fuel economy, nothing matches the 7.3-liter PowerStroke for pure, unstoppable reliability. This engine regularly exceeds 500,000 miles, with many documented cases over 750,000 miles, without major engine work. The indirect injection design was old school and simple, none of the complexity plaguing modern common rail diesels. The ZFS 66506 6-speed manual or 4R100 4-speed automatic were both rock-solid towing capacity, reached 15,000 pounds, and fuel economy averaged 13 to 18 miles per gallon. Original pricing ranged from $30,000 to $45,000. The Super Duty frame is absolutely massive. The leaf spring suspension is agricultural but indestructible. The interior is basic but functional. These trucks weren't fancy. They were workhorses designed to run forever, and they deliver today. Clean 7.3-liter Super Duties command $20,000 to $45,000 because diesel enthusiasts know they're buying a truck that might outlive them. When you need a truck that absolutely, positively will not quit, this is it. But there's one truck that beats even this legend. Number 1. Toyota Hilux. International markets. The number 1 spot goes to a truck most Americans can't even buy new, the Toyota Hilux. Why? Because this is the truck that Top Gear tried to kill and failed. They drowned it in the ocean, set it on fire, dropped it from a crane, crashed it into a tree, and placed it on top of a building they demolished. The Hilux started every single time after minimal repairs. That's not marketing. That's documented fact. Available globally with various engines including the 2.8-liter turbo diesel 1G DFTV, producing 201 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, this truck is engineered for extreme reliability. The ladder frame, solid rear axle, and leaf spring suspension are old-school simple. Manual and automatic transmissions are both legendary for durability. Owners worldwide report 500,000-plus kilometers in conditions that would kill any American truck. The Hilux is the truck of choice for the UN, militaries, NGOs, and anyone who needs absolute reliability in impossible conditions. Fuel economy averages 25 to 35 miles per gallon with modern diesels. Towing capacity reaches 7,700 pounds. Pricing varies by market, but the point isn't price. It's that this truck represents the absolute pinnacle of reliability engineering. If you need proof that a truck can be truly indestructible, watch that Top Gear episode, then watch videos of million-kilometer Hiluxes still running perfectly. There you have it, 13 trucks that laugh at repair shops and make mechanics wonder why they chose this profession. These machines prove that modern technology and reliability aren't always synonymous. Sometimes the best engineering is the simplest engineering, done right. If you enjoyed this countdown, you'll definitely want to check out our video on SUVs that run forever, because Toyota and Honda weren't just making legendary trucks. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember, a truck that never breaks might cost more up front, but it'll save you a fortune over its lifetime. Choose wisely.